From the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution, I'm Joel Norwood, taking a look at your latest agricultural news. Not too bad of weather out there right now, but it looks like we're in for it later this week when it comes to winter weather headed our way. First, we check in with our own Dale Minio.
Joining me is Andrew Rowland of Rowland Truck, and you can find out more about the topics we're talking about at rowlandtruck.com. Andrew, give us a quick update. Is this the time of the year, like lots of other industries, where guys are looking at their books and saying, what do we need to help us next year, and can we get it by the end of the year? How would you answer that question?
Obviously, we try to have a vast selection of things for people to come and see us, whether that's trucks, trailers, and also we do a fabrication of stretching trucks, adding grain bodies, doing lift axles, things like that. Try to be well-rounded to suit our customers.
When you say well-rounded, you also are well-rounded in a large geographical area. I've talked to 3 or 4 producers since we've done some of your other interviews, and you're the first places they look to see if you've got the inventory or the frame to build it.
It's always great. Word of mouth always is good, My dad's always said good news or bad news travels faster than good news. It's good that guys are saying that stuff as we try to give out a product that is worthy and that people want to come back and when they're ready to buy again.
So you've got frames if somebody wants to stretch them, but if somebody has what they already want to work with, they can talk to you about what they can do with their current system and improve it for their work.
Yeah, we add stretch frames, certain wheelbases. You're adding a grain bed or fertilizer tender body. We do liquid tank installs as well to where we're setting the wheelbase, we're moving the axles, adding lift axles, PTOs, things like that to run different types of systems. That's everything in our wheelhouse that we do here, Dale. So, yeah, we're more than capable.
Well, Andrew, if people plan quickly, they can get themselves a Christmas present to be delivered shortly after New Year.
Yes, absolutely. I always work to satisfy the customer, and we'll do whatever we can do to help them.
There you go. And you can always find out more and see their pictures at rowlandtruck.com. That's ROWLAND truck.com. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Dale.
And in other farm news, USDA this past week has reversed course on comments that it might let cattle imports from Mexico into the United States resume before the year-end holidays. That will not be happening. It has suspended those imports in November due to discovery of the New World screwworm in Mexico, and the agency says it's approved a second round of emergency funding to block the flesh-eating livestock pest from getting into the United States. USDA is reaching into Commodity Credit Corporation funding to aid in the fight against the screwworm in Mexico and Central America. They're now saying shipments will likely resume incrementally after the new year, with the full resumption of live animal imports soon after the calendar turns to 2025. The November numbers are out from the Association of Equipment Manufacturers looking at their 2024 Ag Tractor Combine Sales Report. Lower numbers than in November 2023, no surprise, but the big question being how far into 2025 and further will that decline go? U.S. sales of tractors in all classes dropped 14.5% compared to the same time last year. U.S. combine sales remain soft, declining 24% year-to-date in 2024, and the slowdown can be traced back to high interest rates and uncertainty in the ag economy. Overall, U.S. sales of 100-plus horsepower tractors took the biggest drop in November, down 37% from November of 2023. And in our nation's capital, several farm groups not very happy after news has come out that a continuing resolution to keep the government funded did not include assistance for struggling farmers. The American Farm Bureau mounting an 11th-hour pressure campaign to get billions of dollars in economic farm aid and a massive stopgap spending bill to avert the government shutdown this week. American Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall.
It is not acceptable for Congress to tie up their business at the end of the year and not recognize the need for not just disaster assistance, but economic assistance.
Duvall says that without help, many farmers might not be able to secure new operating loans, and he vows to continue to fight any stopgap funding bill that lacks both farm and disaster aid. The latest Ohio AgNet podcast is out, and it's a special Christmas edition, as our own Matt Reese gives us a preview.
Listeners will get a healthy dose of Christmas spirit on this week's Ohio AgNet podcast. Be sure to check it out at ocj.com or wherever your podcasts are found. And Merry Christmas from all of us here at Ohio AgNet.
Thanks, Matt, and we'll be right back after this with a look at markets.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been rooted in agriculture. Founded as the Farm Bureau Mutual Automobile Insurance Company with a mission to protect farmers and their communities, we honor our legacy by offering solutions that evolve with the complex needs of today's farms. As the leading insurer of America's farms and trusted by 8 farm bureaus for 100 years and counting, Nationwide is on your side. Number 1 insurer based on 2023 direct written premium per AM Best. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Let's take a look at farm markets after Tuesday's trade in Chicago, down across the entire grain side of things. March corn's off 1.5 to 440, 3.5. New crop corn for 2025, 430, 8.5 per bushel, down 1 3/4 themselves. January soybeans down 5 1/4 to 976 3/4, with November soybeans 988 3/4, a dime lower. And next July wheat down 6 1/4 to 561 1/4. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Live cattle for December 23 cents up to 192.25, but turning negative from there. Feeder to cattle for March $1.90 higher to 258.28, and February hogs 35 cents down to a price of 83.20 per hundredweight. More news at OhioAgNet.com. I'm Dolphin Norwood.